Castle Crashers Walkthrough for SpaceUpGames.com and NextGenWalkthroughs.com. So the forest entrance level, basically where you get introduced into the second most annoying guys in the game, the Thieves. And if you're wondering why they're annoying, it's because they love to use arrows and they just don't stop using them. And right here, the most annoying guy would be this big guy, which you actually can become as big as them when you eat sandwiches, but it only lasts for 10 seconds, so, you know, and I thought that the 10-second thing for the sandwiches was really stupid, because it wasn't any time to do anything, and you didn't do as much damage as you would normally want to. Although the boss is pretty good, but anyway, basically what these big guys do, they love to just pick you up out of nowhere, it seems, and just throw you across the map, and they come into you, and they love to corner you too. So you want to try and keep your distance. If you've got magic, I would use that, of course, but I don't have much magic, so I'm not going magic. And right here, this guy's probably one of the more annoying ones. Later on, they just seem to die faster, which is strange. And that alligator, if you can actually stay on him, you can really mess up this guy pretty dang bad. One of my friends would always get on the alligator, and if you're on the alligator and you press Y, sometimes like it's like whenever his mouth snaps shut, it goes along to the music. So if you just keep tapping Y, and you can see how it goes along to the music, it's pretty cool. And right here is where a bunch of thieves shoot arrows. And I don't know if it was just a failed attempt or what, but oh well. And right here is at one of the more annoying places, actually, for the Thieves. The next place is probably the most annoying, because there are just so many of them. And you can kill these trees, those little trees up there, you can kill them, and I think if you're lucky, they'll drop coins or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. And right behind this bush with those notes is an owl, which is a pet, and I think this is the first pet that you can actually obtain. Basically what he does is, if you were watching the blue guy up there, which is General Scar, the owl goes to the tree, gets food, and gives it to you. So he gives you food from trees, and he's only useful in this forest level when there's a bunch of trees. He's not useful in the lava place or the desert where there are no trees, so he's not one of the more useful ones later on. And for the pets, the most useful one, I have to say, well, at least my favorite, is the hawk. And I will show you how to get him, I think, because, you know, I'm going to go back and get him. But to get the hawk, you have to go to this other level that's later on, use a bugle, which you unlock way later in the game, and then he'll come out and you have the hawk. And what the hawk does is that whenever enemies are down, he'll peck them constant ones until they get back up, and when enemies die, he will give you food. So he does damage and heals you. And some of the other useful ones, oh, and that guy in the bush, if he hadn't moved, we probably would have never known. But anyway, some of the more useful pets are probably the ones that give you extra defense, which is probably one of the most useful, or extra strength. Or the chicken, which gives you strength, defense, and agility. And it doesn't raise it that much, I don't think, but oh well. Yeah, the chicken's Scar's favorite, I think. And the porcupine, which you have to buy from a store, and he's like 1,000 or he's a couple. I think he's nearly 1,000 gold or something. I don't know how much. I'll remember, but well, I won't remember right now. But anyway, I'll show you which store the porcupine is in, and he helps so greatly with the last boss. It's just amazing. Because, you know, he raises his health so much, and that means if you're playing with other people, you take all the hits while you just try and heal your other people while they do the damage, which for the last boss, you almost always have to do that, unless your magic is all the way up. But yeah, the last boss is pretty crazy. But we'll get to that when we get to the last boss, which we're not there yet. So in that chest was a mallet, and it's probably one of the better weapons until later on. I will be trying to pick up some of the better weapons, just so you know. I honestly have no clue which ones are the best, because well, I have an idea, but I don't have all of them unlocked yet, so, you know. And that pet, this pet is the second pet you can obtain right from the start, and all he does is make you walk as fast through water as you would on land. He is only really useful at this part and another part. That's really it. So if there's any other pet you could get, I say drop him. And every time you see a chicken leg like that, pick it up because they heal you a lot. I mean a lot. Okay, now you run into these black guys, and these can be really annoying. They can be, but they usually aren't because they die quick, but they hit hard if they can actually hit you. And right up here, you'll see a little black fuzzball thing in the corner there. That is another pet that you have to blow up with bombs that you cannot do right now until you get bombs, which are from stores later on. And right here's another weapon, and stick, I don't even know if that's good or not, but what that pet does is that he'll heal you. He'll heal you very little, and it takes a while for him to heal you, but he heals you. So, you know, it's pretty useful. If you have nothing better. If you have surround sound, that just sounds disgusting. So I usually play my Xbox on the on HD, so I've got a nice surround sound system, but I have to record in AV because I don't have an HD capture card, but you know, whatever. And right here is a guy washing his clothes, and we always make a joke like, no washing your clothes, but it's a little bit worse than that, but yeah, whatever. Pretty soon will be a boss that right now for Insanity is the best experience boss. I don't care what people say, this is the best boss for experience on Insanity now. It used to be the bat glitch where you throw a boomerang and it would just drain the bat's health, and yeah, but that got patched, so that's pointless right now. But this guy, especially when you get him to low health, he just keeps spitting out these guys, and at the lower health he has, then the faster he'll spit them out. And if you have an attack that does constant, if you have an attack that can affect more than one guy, like the Red Knight's lightning, this is a great way for experience if you can get a bunch of them in your lightning, because I remember getting I think 5 of these guys in my lightning, and my experience just went up like crazy. It was so cool. Especially on Insanity, this guy takes forever to kill, so it's a really good way for experience. Wow, it's still skipping all over. So if my narration ever sounds a little bit off, like just a little bit, it's just because of the narration. I mean the video skipping. So after that, he kind of explodes, and here's where you have to run into some big cat guy. And this part can be really annoying if you don't know what to do. So, and it's randomized, so you really never know what to do. But this part can be really annoying if you haven't practiced it. There is an achievement to do this part perfectly, which is to not run into any logs. It means to jump over every log and go through every door without having either the cat hit you or the weird cat thing having to make you having to force you through by knocking you through the wall. And if you're wondering how to get through the doors, I remember I had some weird problem with it. Just look for the light, and wherever the light is, go there. So it's not really that hard. But yeah, there's an achievement that took my friend forever to get for this. Yeah, that's basically it for this level. Just keep on going, and I think I do this part perfectly, but Scar doesn't. But you know, whatever. And that's pretty much it for this level, so I will see you in the next level, I guess.